This chocolate chip cookie cake combines a delicious from scratch cake recipe and some store-bought cookie dough. Hello everyone, first thing we're going to do is mix up the dry ingredients for the cake. That's 2½ cups of all-purpose flour in that bowl, adding to that 2½ teaspoons of baking powder and ½ teaspoon of salt. Stir that around until combined and set it aside. In a large bowl, place 3/4 cup of butter and 1 3/4 cups of white granulated sugar. Beat until it is light and fluffy. Then add in 1½ teaspoons of vanilla and then blend in 3 eggs, one at a time, blending well after each addition. Now you're going to add in some milk and you're going to add in that flour mixture. You're going to add them alternately, which means you're going to add a little bit of milk, a little bit of the flour mixture, and so on until it's all blended in. And you're going to use 1 1/4 cups of milk. Once that's nicely blended, add in 3/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Stir until combined and set it aside. Grease a 9 by 13 inch baking dish and you're going to spoon half of the cake batter in the bottom of the pan, spread it around, and then you're going to need 1 tube of refrigerated chocolate chip cookie dough and cut it in half. Take half of that dough and just take small pieces of it and just kind of crumble it over the surface of that cake batter, just so it's kind of roughly spread around. And you want some fairly sizable chunks because you want to see that cookie dough inside that cake. Then spread the rest of the batter gently on top and then sprinkle the second half of the chocolate chip cookie dough. Then bake at 375 degrees for about 35 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, and then let it cool completely. Now this is a lovely frosting that goes with this particular recipe. 6 tablespoons of butter softened in a bowl, blend it up so it's nice and smooth, and then add in 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 tablespoons of milk. Blend that together and then add in 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. Once that's nicely combined, now you're going to add in an additional 2 3/4 cups of the powdered sugar, and you're just going to continue to blend that sugar in. Once it's all in, if you find your frosting to be a bit too stiff and maybe a little bit on the dry side, then add in little bits of milk or cream and continue to blend until you get a texture of frosting that you like, and then spread it over your cooled cake. And here is the completed cake. As you can see, the chocolate chip cookie dough pieces have a tendency to sink to the bottom of the pan. It is very good. That chocolate frosting is on point. It really is a nice frosting that goes very well with this. The actual chocolate chip cookie dough pieces do not get crispy inside the cake. They take on like a cake-like texture in there. And as you can see, the little chocolate chip cookie dough pieces are actually surrounded by white in some places, so it looks great too when you slice it. This tastes a lot like these old-fashioned snacking cakes we used to get when we were kids. It came in a box that had its own little baking dish inside of it, and then you just used to add water, I think, and stir it up and throw it in the oven. Anyway, it reminded me of those. I loved those when I was a kid. This is a nice recipe. I hope you give this one a try. Here's another recipe I recommend and I think you're going to love. It's chocolate chip cookie dough brownies. These are really, really good. And the chocolate chip cookie dough in this recipe is eggless, so it's safe to eat raw. So if you want to see this recipe, go ahead and click right on your screen or see the link in the description box below. There also should be a little eye on your screen that you can click on. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.